Hello and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to another EFC 24/7 news report. I'm Callum and we're going to get straight into things here with the news that Everton have held talks over a deal for Philippe Coutinho, with there being an internal debate between Everton owner Farhad Moshiri and manager Rafa Benitez. Rafa doesn't want Coutinho at the club, which is quite strange considering he was the one who brought Coutinho in at interim, I believe, and it looks like it's another example of Moshiri wanting a big name player to go into the number 10 position, and it worked quite well with James Rodriguez. I think James was very good when he played, but the only problem was, he's not here anymore. He doesn't really have the work ethic. I think that's a similar thing with Coutinho. Is Coutinho going to put in the work defensively for Rafa to want him? I can't imagine it'd be a permanent signing. I can imagine it'd be a loan until the end of the season, and hopefully we can follow the model we've been doing with Michaelenko and Patterson, with going for a young player who can develop over time. But yeah, that's reported by ESPN UK, and I can't really see it happening. I believe Arsenal are interested in some other clubs. I think there's other clubs that Coutinho would rather join over us, instead of, bringing in another former Red into the squad. And then if Coutinho has some bad performances similar to what we've seen with Rafa as manager, the fans are going to dog on him due to his Red past. So I don't think it'd be a very good signing. Moving on after that, we've got Everton have confirmed the appointment of Graham Sharp to its board of directors. Sharp will be a non-executive director who has spent over a decade at the club, between 1980 and 1991, I believe it was. He's the club's second highest goal scorer behind Digne. But is this another example of jobs for the boys? Something that's, if you're on Everton Twitter, you'll know a lot about, of the club giving roles to former players who may not deserve that role. But the thing is with Sharp is hopefully he can bring in some fan perspective to it, what it feels like for... Maybe he'll mention what it feels like for the fans, the gripes the fans have with the club, and maybe he could be the fan representation we need. I think that we need an actual fan group to be in the boardroom, but hopefully Graham Sharp could fill a role like that and not just be another yes man in the club who used to play for the club. I can't personally say it, but a lot of things you see in his jobs for the boys. He has no experience, but we'll have to see how it goes in the future. Moving on, Moving on to Phil Echo here, we've got, I don't know, I think it's Vitaly Michaelenko and Nathan Patterson were both long-term targets for Everton and were identified by the recruitment team under Marcel Brands. I think this is quite a difficult one because now we knew we wanted Patterson throughout for probably the past year now, that we were interested in him and wanting to sign him. Michaelenko's one that popped up quite recently, and then we snapped him up. Both very good signings, very young left backs with, both good full backs, with plenty of potential, hard workers. And, the fans are quite excited about these signings. And I think the problem comes when you notice that it is a Marcel Brands signing, basically, and Brands isn't at the club anymore. So in a sense, Brands was scapegoated for what was happening. And then we've gone and took two of his targets. I think it's quite interesting. So clearly, unless Rafa agreed with him, I don't know what it is. But the thing that we're now signing Marcel Brands targets after sacking the guy, I think it might bring that idea of, did he actually deserve to get sacked? So it's quite an interesting one. We'll have to see how it goes. But Phil Echo also reported that we hope to add two more players to the squad this January transfer window, with a winger being the next position Everton want to fill. I don't really know about this. I think we've got a lot of good wingers, unless he's planning on keeping Demarai Gray in the 10. We've got Richarlison, Gray, Townsend, Gordon. I'm not really a big fan of Iwobi, but we've got Iwobi too. So unless he's planning on offloading some of those players, I don't really know. I think it has to depend on the name of the winger. If it's a winger who can, bring a lot of excitement to the club and, make that front four even better, I don't think Anthony Gordon deserves to be dropped to the bench after his performances. But I think it does depend on the quality that this winger can bring into the squad. We don't know what the second position is. I'm guessing it's a number 10 or a centre-back maybe if Mason Holgate does leave. I don't really know, but we'll have to see how that progresses throughout the rest of the January transfer window. Moving on, we've got the Luca Digne saga. It's still continuing. Digne looks like he's going to leave the club, especially with Michaelenko joining. And some news from TalkSport earlier in the day were that Newcastle United are lining up a move for Digne. After it looks like they are signing Kieran Trippier from Atletico Madrid, it looks like they're really trying to, bolster up those fullbacks with attacking potential to get the ball to players like St. Maximin and Callum Wilson. And Then Luke Edwards also said a loan with an option to buy in the summer for Digne is being discussed by Newcastle. I don't think Digne would, and I think the quote from Fabrizio Romano confirms that with Luca Digne is not interested in going to Newcastle United. Chelsea are interested in the left back, but have yet to start official talks with the club. I think I'd prefer. It sounds weird, but I think I would prefer Newcastle because, in a sense, I feel like we could get a lot more money out of Newcastle than we would out of Chelsea. Newcastle are desperate to survive and are willing to spend money. Kieran Trippier's getting I think it's 150k plus a week. They'll offer probably similar wages to someone like Luca Digne, and they'll probably pay us around the 30 million that I think we should be getting for him. I think honestly we should be getting 35 plus, but because of the situation, I think 30 plus would be an amazing bit of business for us to get for Digne, even if I'm not particularly happy with him leaving. I'm hoping Michaelenko can fill that hole that he has, and prove to be a really good young left back. And I'm guessing then when Niels Nkunku returns, he'll be the backup hopefully, and he won't just get shipped out. But yeah, we move on to some other news now. 17-year-old Everton Academy goalkeeper Jack Stewart. I'm going to say Jack. It's spelled J-A-K, but I'm going to say Everton Academy goalkeeper Jack Stewart has joined Runcorn Linnets on a short-term loan deal, and I believe he is playing in a cup game. He's been put right into the squad for a cup game, so it's a short-term loan. I don't know how it's going to go, but good luck to Jack, and hopefully he has a fantastic loan deal and can start moving up the football ladder and maybe even be in the Everton first team one day. But some quite exciting news for Everton fans. I don't know how true this is. This was on the Liverpool Echo that Everton have joined the race for Lyon midfielder Bruno Guimaraes, I'm going to say. According to reports, the Evening Standard claims the Brazilian has attracted attention from a handful of Premier League clubs, with Arsenal and Newcastle United also interested. Lyon are also reluctant to sell the 24-year-old with any potential deal probably coming in the summer. Guimaraes is a really good player. If you look at websites like FB, Ref or Who Scored, you'll see that he's very good at progressing the ball. He's very good in the tackle. He brings a lot of pressure. But I also think that signing someone like Guimaraes might mean the end for someone like Alan. So if we sign Guimaraes now or in the summer, that might mean Alan's going to get shipped off. Which Alan's he's getting up there in age, but I still think he's a very good player. I think he helps us in breaking up play, winning the ball back, and then helping with the other players to progress the ball forward. I think Guimaraes is just a younger version of that. He's also very high on the assists. I think he's for midfielders, he's 0.15 assists per 90 are in the top 20% of all midfielders in Europe's top 5 leagues. So someone like Guimaraes who can really, win the ball and then push the ball forward, progress the team forward is something I think the club really do need, and I think it would be a good signing, but I think that would be something that would happen in the summer. He's valued at around 27 million on Transfermarkt, so I can imagine it'd be 25 to 30 million to sign him, maybe a little bit more. It depends on where Lyon finish in the Europa League, in the Ligue 1 table. I think that would be an interesting signing. But that is all the news we've got for today. Please make sure to like and subscribe.